This is episode 311 of the one and only IT and the D Show. We have a phenomenal guest tonight. We have Mary in the house. You can call her M if you're her friend. She is an Agile Evangelist from United Shore.
I'm going to debate you on phenomenal, just based on the pre-show.
I'm delightful. I prefer the term delightful.
As soon as she walked in,
she's a ray of effing sunshine.
She's been trashing on us ever since she walked in here. But we like her.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Bald Guy and Dick. That's
and Twitters.
And Twitter.
And Twitter, guys. She is an Agile Evangelist, but she just got back from Agile 2019 and has tons of great stories in it. It's going to be a fun interview. But hey, Evan Lyle of Roush Enterprise is a big fan of Michigan. As he put it, the future of mobility is going to be decided right here in this state. Do us a favor. Visit planetm.com to find out why. That's planetm.com. Davey Mayfire when ready.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the sun? Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Hey guys, it is Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my hoo-hoos.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka, sweep the leg, listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the beat off.
Hi, this is Data K, the voice of Professor Xavier. Storm, come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm. You're listening to IT in the D.
Are we at a break yet?
Hey everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. You're listening to IT in the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
This is the ladies' man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
What is a nerd?
Hi, this is Ogre. You listen to a bunch of nerds on the IT and the D? Nerds.
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to IT in the D. What the hell did I do?
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT and D Show. Snooch to the nooge. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump Pump. The IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
This is Robert Hayes, the tit striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at my gumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Hi, this is Jeremy London from Mallrats, and I'm just wondering, how did I go from Hot Floridian Sex with Brandy Spinning to the IT and D Show?
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
Dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT and the D.
Skeptical Dave is skeptical.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Men. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is IT and the D.
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science.
So,
Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Welcome back. Thank you for clicking play. This is the one and only IT in the D Show. We are broadcasting live here in Studio One in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan.
And my favorite moment, I think, just happened where I think that's the first time a guest, while listening to our intro, has looked us dead in the eye and went, I'm not drunk enough to do this show.
To be fair, they offered me alcohol and I turned it down.
She did turn it down. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. Randy, I do the Twitters.
Oh my God, I'm back again.
Is in studio. Find us online.
Get it? Because I was at Backstreet Boys concert last week.
We got it. We were ignoring
I'm judging you.
Shut up, Randy.
They were too.
We absolutely did.
Find us online, itandthed.com. Do us a favor, give us a like on the socials, and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
All right, so we've got the Ann Arbor event, and we're doing an event the day after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
People will be back to work.
So September 3rd, the event is in Ann Arbor. It is where?
We'll be at Haymaker.
Okay.
If you want a Haymaker, I'll give you one. But
all right, we always the pretzels and the bells and the Haymakers. Who knew? Free podcast day is that Saturday, the 7th, and then the 19th. We will be back at Embrew, our new Blackfin.
I like Embrew,
dude. It's amazing.
Pinball machines, good pizza, good crowd. Yeah.
Last time I was at Embrew, they had a Neapolitan stout that tasted like ice cream. I'm not kidding you.
That sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Skeptical, David. Skeptical.
Oh, but hey, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. But the problem of growing businesses have is that keeps them from knowing their numbers is their hodgepodge of business systems. They have one system for accounting, another one for sales, another one for inventory, and so on. It's a big, inefficient mess taking up too much time, too many resources, and it hurts the bottom line. Introducing NetSuite by Oracle. It's a business management software, handles every aspect of your business in an easy-to-use cloud platform, giving you the visibility and control you need to grow. With NetSuite, you save time, money, and unneeded headaches by managing sales, finance and accounting, orders, and HR right from your desktop or your phone. Again,
is it one system to rule them all and in the darkness find them?
Honestly, I think all these things are hinting at us that we need to get on one because we're just all a hodgepodge of emails and mess.
Docs and spreadsheets and emails and
right. That's why NetSuite is the world's #1 cloud business system. And right now, NetSuite is offering you valuable insights with a free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits at netsuite.com/IT in the D. That's netsuite.com/IT in the D. Download your free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits. netsuite.com/IT in the D.
Beauteous.
Yeah, exactly.
So I spent my weekend at Michigan Comic-Con down at Kobo.
I was going to join you, but I drank way too many White Claws Friday night.
Yeah, so he was on the show. So August, Augie, he of the Ajinufka, and wow, that he actually looked at me across the bar at one point. He was like, "Hey," so I went back and listened to that episode again. Wow, we were jacked up. Huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how was that other show that was in with us? I'm like, well, when I saw them when they were doing their show that following Sunday, they said it took them until Wednesday to recover from being in the studio with us Monday night.
I don't doubt it at all.
I repeat my previous comment. Not drunk enough for this podcast.
But yeah, did Michigan Comic-Con, went and did the Magnum 7 charity event over at Whiskey in the Jar on Friday night in Hamtramck. That was a lot of fun. The con was great. I mean, from my perspective, but like we look at things differently than a lot of other people do. You know, we're there basically marketing and advertising and talking to peeps. I probably had 24 conversations with, podcasters and possible podcasters and people that don't, people that are already doing stuff, might want to do stuff. But I mean, so the downside of this is, this is the second year for this con at Kobo. They did change up some things, like they took over an entire additional hall, which you would think would be good because it spreads everything out more. But then the downside of that is that it spreads everything out more and it makes the place look really super empty. And to me, like the big telling thing, and I mentioned this in a post earlier today, it was always cold in that room. And Bob,
how does Kobo though get that cold?
It literally, people were coming over and asking, if we had more T-shirts, more hey, do you guys do hoodies and that kind of stuff? It was literally no more than 60 degrees.
What was the weather here? Because I was out of town.
It was 85.
Good
God.
The
entire weekend. People were walking outside to get warm. And apparently, sales weren't that great. There were a lot of vendors that just didn't come back Sunday.
Really?
After Friday and Saturday, yeah, a lot.
Oh my God.
There was I witnessed one shouting match between one vendor loading out through the front doors and the staff there because at like I think that was about 1:00 Sunday. Cause they were just done,
Oh boy.
being there. Yeah, that was entertaining. But yes, I mean, but like I said, I mean, I didn't hear anybody say they had a great weekend. Let's put it that way. I can't universally cast aspersions, but I mean, I can say that like the people that we know and we hang out and trust, none of them had the weekend they expected from a 3-day con.
Dave, I had a great weekend.
I know you did. You were in Vegas.
I had to go to a bachelor party in Vegas. Well, it's supposed to be a fantasy football draft. That suddenly turned into, let's not draft our teams while we're drunk because we're in the pool and having too much fun. But we stayed at the D Casino down at the old Fremont, and we got to meet Derek Stevens. If you ever heard of him, he's the guy that owns it. And we got to watch his podcast. He does a handicapper podcast on XM Radio. So I got to chat with his producer. It was kind of cool. He was literally the guy's an animal. He's there at 9 a.m. doing this podcast on handicapping and gambling.
Okay.
And then we see him later that night around, I think, 2 or 3 a.m. He has the last 2 seats reserved at the Long Bar for him and his wife. I'm like, this guy lives my life.
Living the dream. Yeah. Living the dream.
But they had an American Coney Island attached to it. So like Coney's every night for breakfast. I mean, lunch. I mean, late dinner.
I'm sorry, what, they couldn't get
Phenomenal.
Lafayette?
No. No, it was American Coney. I mean, the place was amazing. They had upstairs all these old like the retro. You don't see the actual spinning slots anymore. They're all the video crap,
right?
And they had like the old,
which I trust even less. Like I know the old ones. I know the old ones could be rigged, but just like from a perception and mental standpoint, to me, it just seems like the video ones would be easier to rig.
To manipulate. Yeah, but we played fake horse racing. Like we have the horses on the magnets going around the circle. That, honest to God, if I could do that for the rest of my life, I would. It was the most fun I've ever had.
So, be honest, how many times you're looking for one, aren't you? Like you're trying to find one of those machines.
Well, they bought if you watch Pawn Stars, they bought the one that was a quarter play.
Okay,
and it had like this big awning, and you couldn't get a seat in that thing after 8 o'clock at night to save your life.
Okay.
Like, there was like a line of people to sit down at this thing. And that one was like the 50s version of this, like with this one, ours at least had the magnets. This one was not. So, I mean, that was like they were right next to each other, right by the sports book was upstairs and all that. So
that's crazy.
That's what literally that's where we hung out all weekend.
So I think that the dumbest story of the week, or maybe, I don't know, whatever, but the whole delivery service thing is just going ridiculously out of control. So now CVS has decided that they're targeting millennials with a new Amazon Prime-like delivery service.
No, well, hold on a minute. So we have Amazon Prime that costs what, $110 a year right now?
Yes.
Which,
let's be honest, you make that up. That pays for itself every Christmas,
right?
Even if that's all you do.
And then we all buy shipped for the most part. That's what, $79 or $59?
$49.
15. Okay, I think I spent $59. That's for your groceries.
Yep.
But now CVS, and the dumbest thing is targeting millennials. Like, why can't you just target people?
I don't know. Like my whole thing, dude. I stopped shopping at CVS when they decided they were going to stop selling cigarettes because health. But hey, still come on in and get your booze and fill all the opioid scripts that you can. But no smokes.
But annual membership, so they're charging $48. And it's called Care Pass, and it's basically of their stuff.
So what does that do? What do they have at CVS that you can't get from Shipped?
Your prescriptions. That's pretty much. I think that's pretty much.
Oh,
it.
Yeah, because Meijer, Shipped. You can't get your prescriptions from the front.
But if you're doing PillPack already, you've already got your prescriptions.
Well, here's the dumbest part: CVS pharmacy president Kevin Huracan, I don't know how to pronounce it, told CNBC,
"Rock you like a hurricane."
It's spelled like hurricane without the E. Millennials are time-starved, and we want it to be easier to do business with you.
Speaking for all millennials, we are time-starved, and I would love to have my prescriptions delivered to my house. And I am voted the spokesperson for all millennials.
But also millennials can't afford healthcare, so they're not going to sign up for this.
We certainly can't afford the $50 a year subscription.
No, apparently Amazon's tried to. They bought a company called PillPack. But it depends on, I every time you go to the doctor, who's your prescription through? Do you say Amazon or do you say Walgreens?
Meijer.
Walgreens on Crooks or
Same
Meijer
by my house.
Right, so do I.
They got a drive-through. I pick it
A
up.
little
It's
indie
easy.
pharmacy that's in the same building as the doctor's office. Whatever.
Yeah. Again, how many delivery services do we need?
All of them,
again,
apparently.
It becomes
Over 9,000.
right.
That's my obligatory nerd joke for the
Right.
evening. I wanted to get it out of the way early.
Let's count them up. I got
Okay.
the
That's
pen out.
one
Let's count
over
'em up.
9,000.
One over 9,000.
Dave, no, hold on, Dave. I got my first. We talked about this about a month ago.
A little longer than that.
About calendar spam.
Yep.
And we joked that spammers are now targeting calendar events.
And you were like, "Oh, it's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Nobody will ever get those."
And I'm pre-meeting today. I'm about 5 minutes early, and I get a calendar basically update saying your account is debited with $203, and it's a calendar event. And I'm like, what? And I'm looking at this thing, and it's an hour and a half event on my calendar during the same time as my meeting, and it's less than 5 miles away, and there's a Bitly link attached to it, and it says put a $27 deposit and get a 1,500% bonus. And it was from a Moscow time zone. It said Moscow whatever time.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, right. So I'm like, oh my God. And then I share my Google Calendar with my wife, and I get an email from her going that she declined it. And I'm like, don't touch it. Like, it's a trap. Spalding, don't touch it. So I delete it right away. But still, it just it didn't show up as an email on Gmail.
Nope.
It just literally just showed up as an hour and a half calendar event, in between of my day.
That's phenomenal.
And this is going to be a thing now.
Well,
to the end of time.
Well, which dovetails right into the 23 small towns in Texas.
But hold on, I can't count this as spam. I can't block it.
Right.
Wherever it came in from, it's in.
The link in your screenshot's a 404 now, so whatever it was leading to, it doesn't exist anymore.
I didn't put a link. I put a screenshot.
Yeah, I typed in the address. It doesn't
the
go anymore.
Bitly?
Yeah, it
Thank
doesn't go
God.
anymore.
All right. You're the brave one here. I'm not touching that crap.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
So that does. So there were 23 towns in Texas that all got hit from the same ransomware, and are now all shut down. All 23 municipalities are just basically offline. While they're trying to struggle.
23 at once?
23 different cities were all hit by the same ransomware. They said it was a very coordinated attack. It was a very they were sophisticated because they all it was all very similar names to the township, .gov addresses and all that fun stuff.
This is what happened to that town. This is what happens when you pay them. Whatever that town was we talked about a month ago.
And that was part of that story is you've had, the towns in Florida, Baltimore, yada, 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 that are paying these people. Well, guess what? Now you've proven it's a viable business model. Here we go.
Right. When they're wouldn't even no, we'll say give you the 70 grand, whatever. Cool. You just open up the floodgates.
Yep.
You screwed the pooch. And now all these little small towns that can barely afford one single IT person to run their shop have to deal with this crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what was the library that
wasn't that North Carolina?
We're just going to throw everything away and buy new IT
yeah, because
stuff.
it was they wanted they wanted $750,000 to get rid of the ransomware, and an entirely new system cost them $30.
Right.
So they went with 30.
Right.
So, dude, how much attention are you paying to this WeWork IPO?
Oh my God!
Are you reading through this nonsense at all?
This is driving me bananas.
So they're
BANANAS.
Yes, they lost $1.9 billion with a B dollars.
Well, we've been talking about this dude for years.
We have. And so, but the stories are coming hard and fast now. Where so now, if you read through their IPO, they're basically claiming to be a tech company.
How?
That's what nobody can figure out. Because what they provide wireless networks.
Well, they have sensors everywhere that track you, and apparently people who work at WeWork like to drink coffee in the morning.
Wow!
Ooh.
They had to build AI for that.
Their entire
the
business.
sky is blue.
Their entire business model, and they're like, so they have like, because part of the IPO filing process is you have to have like you lay out your management structure and succession planning and all that stuff. There is none of that. The guy that owns the place is the guy that owns the place. His wife is, I guess, like one of the VPs / directors / whatever. Her role is described as basically supporting him in whatever he needs to do. And over the past year, let's see, I believe they gave him I believe it was either $30 or $300 million loan, which was supposed to be paid back.
What?
But so here's the kicker. They also then just issued, because again, he's the guy that owns the place, so this was all very inside baseball. Just issued enough stock options to him that he then said, "Yeah, I don't need," and then went ahead and that eliminated the loan of the millions of dollars. Because the valuation was exactly the same.
I love this line from The Verge, and you are my new favorite publication now. It's just, this is to say nothing of the fact that there are two ways the company makes money. One, from people paying fees to lease its shit, and two, from sponsorships and ticket sales for events.
So that's the thing. You've got two of his family members that are on payroll, that are making high 6-figure salaries for basically doing nothing more than event planning and promotion at their spaces. The other concerning thing is, so now you've got like the Wall Street Journal and everybody else coming out and saying WeWork is essentially the next too big to fail, that they occupy so much space around the world that if they just decided to say, screw it, we're not paying rent anymore, the landlords would have zero recourse. Because the way we
aren't they already not paying rent? Don't we do a story like a year ago
about
where
how
they
much
owed like $18 billion
how much
in
rent deficit they're in? Yeah. Well, so the other part of that was their rent is only like they've only got like 1/8 of their rent commitments guaranteed by like funding and bank loans and securities and all that stuff. So that's the thing. Like if WeWork were to go under tomorrow, they would take out just swaths of corporate real estate.
How does this crap happen? Like, do you think that, okay, you didn't pay your lease for 3 months, you get thrown out? Like, how do you?
And they can't.
Right,
like
but how did they posture themselves to keep doing this city after city after
wish
city
I knew.
after city? But they're going public, and people are going to buy their stock.
After being losing 1.9.
Well, I mean, it says by comparison, Uber said it lost 1.8 billion in 2018. Lyft lost 911 million. Oh my God! Like others, seriously, I watched The Big Short again on the plane back. Like, they're not creating this like catastrophic bubble, but they kind of are by doing crap like this.
Well, no,
and the We company is all over the place. They've got, co-working spaces, which we know as WeWork, but then they've got private schools called the We Grow and apartments called We Live. Well, they have a private women's club called The Wing.
Are they growing their business via acquisition from raising money from VC, or are they doing it organically? That's the big question. Because if they were actually selling something viable, because it said revenues, I don't know. I don't trust this number when it says revenues doubled to 1.5 billion in the last 6 months. Right, great. Is that acquisition or is that actual their revenue?
Right. I'm going to go with no. It can't be. It can't possibly be.
Right. And it's the We company also disclosed it expects to raise up to $6 billion in debt.
Yep.
Like
what? Dude, it's insane. I don't get it. It makes absolutely zero sense.
They're in 100 cities,
and like if you actually read. I think it's either The Verge or the other link I shot out that like is actually the walkthrough of their IPO filing. It's insane the shit that they have.
The Verge says, "I'd try to explain it, but I don't understand what the F is happening."
Yeah,
I swear to God, if either one of you two buy stock, I'm going to pull your pants down in public.
It's never going to happen because that's just a loss.
What in the world?
My favorite story this week, though, and this makes me laugh. So a guy in California thought he would be cute and get a personalized license plate that said null. All fine and dandy.
No, but he wanted his partner or his wife to void?
Yeah, so they would be null and void. So unfortunately, so then he started getting tickets that were not for him. or for the vehicle that he owned at all.
Or for the current year.
Because,
or for the current decade.
Well, no, so that came later. So, so it turned out, so basically we know null, it just means empty. So whenever a cop would neglect to put down a license plate on a ticket that they were issuing, the copy that went back, it would be entered as null. And so this guy so he calls to contest one, and he was like, no, that's not my car, yada, yada, yada. Well, apparently the person at the DMV updated that record with his car's information. So then they send him a stack of tickets dating back to 2014, before he even had that plate, that are all associated with null. And so it was all fun and games until now the state of California has said, no, you can't renew your license or your registration or any of this shit until all these tickets are cleaned up that aren't even his.
What? Is it $6,000 that I'm seeing? And they were
that's a lot of $20 parking
tickets. Like a Wired journalist, he had it coming. Like, what do you mean he had it coming? He didn't know. He was making a stupid joke.
Yeah. The law of unintended consequences. Who knew?
You know what? Just get your damn license plate and shut the hell up.
Just get something else now.
Right.
Now's a good time to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
What else we got?
So what about your new habit of Spotify?
Dude, I love so all of our podcasts with the Podcast Detroit Network are all out on Spotify, and my new obsession is Spotify shows you what people are listening to when they're not listening to your podcast. So for us, for
is
IT,
this a publisher tool or a listener tool that you can see what else?
No, it is a publisher tool. When you put you can see what other people are listening. It shows you actually really good demographic information, because even that's the thing. Even with Spotify, even the free accounts, you have to have an account. So it gives you their demographic information and all that. Granted in aggregate, but still. Our top 5 when people are not listening to IT and the D on Spotify.
I would never have guessed any of these.
They're listening to Snoop Dogg,
which is fine.
Very familiar.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
What's that? I don't know.
I had no idea who Lizzo was.
I don't either.
I went on YouTube. I would encourage you to just for giggles, YouTube Lizzo. Search, and then I think it's the first one that pops up. It's entertaining.
No,
She's
fine.
Chainsmokers, which I feel they're my people. I guess they're the ones that did the "Let Me Take a Selfie" song. They also have a song that's very popular at my daughter's school dances. I know that. But then Tupac,
fair,
totally understand. And then Post Malone.
I don't know what that is.
He's the
huge
guy who looks like a Doodle Bear.
Movie. The bartender from Cheers.
Huge. No, it's Sam Malone.
Oh,
no, Post Malone. Huge in the Spider-Man Into the Multiverse soundtrack.
Power forward from the Utah Jazz.
Yes, not Moses Malone.
That's Carl Malone.
Carl Malone, whatever. Carl, Moses, Sam. No, none of those Malones.
Oh,
so those are the top 5 things that people are listening to when they're not listening to our podcast on Spotify.
I would never have thunk it.
I thought that was.
And again, we thought we were going to be the mid 40s, aging 80s hipster,
right? Nerds with earbuds watching lights blink in data centers.
Right.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
The weirdest story of the week was Forbes comes out with this. And it said why you should never borrow someone else's charging cable.
Yeah.
And we've all been there. Lost our charging cable. We're at the airport. Yep. We're like, hey, man, you mind if I charge it?
Well, and I like their analogy, which was basically
underpants.
Yeah, if you lost your underwear, would you run around to everyone that was there saying, hey, can I borrow your underwear? No, you would just go buy more.
That's bizarre that you would underpants isn't charging cable.
Well, but
you don't see one with you don't see someone sitting in a chair with their underpants on their lap, do you?
I mean, 66 Batman, yes. Superman, yes. Yeah. Anyway, but no. So the issue is that they've basically figured out a way to infect the charging cables with malware now, and so just by simply borrowing somebody's charging cable, you're screwed.
Oh, and then here's the best part. It's not just borrowing it. I'm thinking airport, right? Like, when am I going to do this? They go a little bit further. They go, we might send somebody a swag iPhone cable in the mail. Maybe we have it branded as something innocuous, like a vendor or a partner they have listed on their website, and we send off the cable and see if the person plugs it in. So if you get a free charging cable with swag logo on it, don't do it. So apparently, they were at DEF CON in Vegas, which is basically, they call it Hacker Summer Camp.
Yep.
And basically showed how to do it.
Yeah.
And so But even though it's not underpants, but
still. And we talked about this before. Costa Rica, don't go.
Or Dominican, can't go anywhere anymore.
B, if you do go, don't drink, which to us means don't go. The tainted alcohol has apparently now killed 25 people and put another 59 in the hospitals.
It's the new Dominican Republic. Sweet.
Costa
Rica's been the new hotness too, so go figure.
Not a good thing by any stretch of the imagination.
I think, but hey, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Mary. You can call her M. She is an Agile Evangelist. We're going to be talking about all things Agile and Agile 2019, the conference she attended. This is the IT in the D Show.
Hey, we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back to segment 2, episode 311. This is the one and only IT in the D Show. We are broadcasting live here in Studio 1 in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. Randy, I do the Twitters. Is doing the Twitters. Find us online, ITinthed.com. You want to know why? Because we are IT in the D. And
you still are not.
We still hear stories.
We do.
Every day.
They make us laugh.
And we love you.
Or at least causes a good smirk.
Muy.
But hey, every minute you spend updating your company's employee data and systems is a minute you don't spend on your core job. Thankfully, now there's Rippling. It's the first platform that combines all of your HR and IT systems together. And when you combine HR and IT, magic happens, or people get fired, one of the two. Imagine if you could hire someone and take care of all their HR needs, including payroll, health insurance, and 401k, all in as little as 90 seconds. Same goes for your IT. You can order their computer and create their accounts and all the apps you use like Gmail, GitHub, and Slack, all in one unified onboarding flow. That's how easy Rippling makes running your business. It's also why Rippling won PC Mag's Editor's Choice Award and is the top-rated HR and IT software on G2 Crowd. Stop burning valuable time on admin work. Use Rippling and your HR and IT will run like a well-oiled machine. Dude, have you walked through that video? Like, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
How, like, onboarding an employee, they're a dev, they get that laptop. They're an admin, they get that laptop. They get this system. Yep, they need access to, Slack, this channel, that channel, that channel.
It goes way past identity management. Yeah, it's all.
And here's their onboarding letter. Here's their salary. Here's their pay period. Are they exempt or not exempt? Here's this, that, and that. It literally onboarded somebody in 60 seconds.
Right.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. But if you're looking for an easier way to supercharge your employees, go to rippling.com/ITinthed. That's RIPPLING.com/ITinthed, and you get 20% off. That's rippling.com/ITinthed for your 20% off. Check it out. Looks super simple. I kind of dig it.
We kind of need it.
We kind of do. I kind of want to set one up for here.
I think half these advertisers are selling to us because they know that.
That's right. Yeah. Those, if nothing else, those idiots will buy it.
Right. But hey, we are joined by, you've heard the voice all day, but her name is Mary. Her friends call her M. We've been told to call her M. Her title is Agile Evangelist, her new title, with United Shores, my coworker, candidly.
To be fair, I'm not here on United Shores' behalf.
You are not.
We can say that as a caveat. Right?
That's fair.
I'm just here hanging out with my friend Bob.
But you just came back from...
Really? You call him a friend? The way the night's going?
I'm trying to be nice for the podcast.
You don't need to be.
Okay. Well, this human I've met recently named Bob Walton...
Close enough. Close enough. But you just spent a week at Agile 2019.
I did.
And your title is Agile Evangelist, and we wanted to hear all about it. So, like, a week-long conference on, I guess, talk to me about, what an Agile Evangelist does, and let's dive into the conference.
All right.
So was it basically a bunch of people meeting afterwards to do shots instead of big drinks?
No. We put up sticky notes all over the walls trying to figure out what shots we wanted to plan to take. And then once we had our planning meeting, we were able to take shots in the appropriate order to
gotcha.
appropriately drunk.
And then someone told you if you were right or not? Is that...
I'm always right, so no one has to tell me.
Fair.
That's the beauty of being an evangelist.
Right.
That is the beauty of being an evangelist. Funny story. I actually I went to Liberty University, which is a very conservative Christian Baptist university, and if
I like
you
the commercials. Liberty.
Is that,
That's
no,
not.
that's something else.
Oh,
I
that
think
is.
that's
Oh,
like
never mind.
Insurance.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's not. Back to my story. I never thought I'd be an evangelist of this type, so that's new for me.
Okay.
So what is that?
You thought you'd be an evangelist of a different type?
Potentially, but not this one. I
Okay.
didn't know what Agile was. Did you in college?
Oh, God, no.
No. Did it exist when you were in college?
No.
Yeah, I thought not.
Computers didn't exist when Dave was in college.
Yes, they did. They did.
They had to have, isn't it?
How many drops do I have about you talking about me banging on the wang?
I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to let that one slide. That's what we're doing.
When I was your age, I had a Commodore 64 and I liked it.
That's right.
Back in my day.
So I didn't just go to Agile 2019. Before the Agile 2019 conference, there's a mini conference called Women in Agile. So they'll actually be coming out with a podcast soon from attendees there.
Cool.
And they really talked about how to create inclusive spaces for women and other minority groups within the Agile community. So that was really interesting.
Talk more about that. What was
I think the thing that stuck out to me most was at one point they had us go around and write down what were our expectations for the conference. And a lot of people wrote down what they were learning, stuff like that. But something that was written on my page, and I posted this on my LinkedIn, is I'm so glad you're here. And that's it. That was the expectation. That was the commitment. I'm so glad you're here. And I thought that really spoke to the heart of Agile and what Agile processes mean and how we manage work and people and teams. And the way we think of it is I'm glad you're here. Teach me, and we'll learn together. And that's really what I think Agile evangelism is. It's really about this radical idea that people know what they're doing. And we should trust them and work together to make decisions and solutions. And that's a lot of my takeaways. It depends. Are one of those people you?
Well,
then
because here's one of the precepts, one of my concepts about people in general is I love persons. I hate people. It could because individual persons are cool, but people in groups tend to be dumb.
Why?
Because groupthink and herd mentality and doesn't always end well.
Absolutely. I mean, one of my passions is on debate and on argumentation and being able to criticize without that being negative. I come from a debate and argumentation background, and something I think is really important. And there was actually a really interesting article in The Wired about Google's toxic culture recently, and
we talked about it last week.
I'm going to use a phrase
we talked about it last
and
week.
I don't mean to bring all the baggage from Google, but really that dissent should be appreciated and elevated. Not because of the person giving the dissent, because no decision is right. No decision is right. Everything is pros and cons, and if we refuse to listen to dissenters, we will never be able to be better. To improve.
True. So we just introduced parliamentary decision making into our meetings.
You get to wear big white wigs?
We totally do.
You don't?
No.
Oh.
And merkins.
What's a merkin?
But
no, what's a merkin?
A pubic wig.
A what?
A pubic wig.
It's from those times.
See, I need to just let these things slide.
Yeah, you said I didn't want to answer.
We tried to go past it. And you kept asking. So.
I know. See, I told you I'm not drunk enough for this podcast.
But we introduced parliamentary, and we have to have a dissent for opinion and a dissenting.
Someone asked me if I would formally introduce that into my meetings recently.
Sure. Was it Jim Allison?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's our architect or our engineer, primary engineer. So he decided we'd make all our meetings into parliamentary. So we have to second motions. We have to have a dissenting and a pro opinion, and then we move forward or we don't.
I approve on one condition. You have to wear a wig. And I'm not saying which kind.
Have you ever watched the House of Commons? That doesn't always end well.
No, it's just,
have you ever read a history book that doesn't always end well?
Yeah, but that's actually still going on today. That's the issue.
So what is some of the, 2019 Agile, what are some of the main takeaways? What, I guess you saw probably 100 presenters talking about 1,000 things.
It was a lot. It was.
What are some of the main takeaways?
I think, well, for me, one of the things I really took away is twofold. One is that this community is amazing. I mean, there are so many people who, if you're in IT, you know Agile is kind of how project management has evolved over time, and you hear, oh, those process people or whatever. And then if you're not in IT, it really is about people and engaging them. But one of the things that is so cool is I met people from Detroit there. I met people from Australia. There's a thriving community of Agilists in Australia and South Africa. I met some incredible, amazing humans creating this ever-growing body of knowledge about how we work and how to make our work lives better, and that work doesn't have to suck, and we can enjoy things, and we can have focus and purpose and determination and understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and we can work together to achieve those things. I mean, really my takeaway, there were lots of talks. There were like 30 talks an hour. It was too many for me to go to. Was that the people there, to your even persons there, we'll say, were just incredible, and that our problems aren't new and unique. Right? We are discovering new contexts, right? We are discovering new technology, but the problems of how we work together, those are as old as time. So how do we use those lessons to engage and create environments that support people in doing what they do best, solving problems?
So this is kind of a ridiculous question and nobody's answered it for me, but the PMPs of 2012, are they Scrum Masters today does that exist anymore, the PMP?
Yeah. There's a lot of project managers, and a lot of them tend to work on cross-cutting projects that involve hardware, large moves, or large enterprises situations. In a lot of cases, Scrum has become distributive project management, and POs and Scrum Masters take on that role. In a lot of cases, they haven't. I think it largely depends on the context you're in and how big it is, right? If you're building an airplane, you probably need more overhead in terms of coordination than if you're building a unit test.
No, that's fair. Another thing I wanted to kind of ask you is, I've noticed a branded form of Agile where I work.
Branded form,
right? No, it's their flavor. Like, how has that kind of come about, and B, I'm trying to find out the process of where you come out with your own brand that suits for you, because for me, I think it's fluid, and then I look at it and say, okay, well, this is our version of it. How do companies, I guess, come up with their own version of it, or is it just whatever they feel like because it's fluid?
It is and it isn't. It really depends. So a lot of companies experiment with an agile transformation internally, and many of our major frameworks have come out of that, and of case studies, even governmental white papers that have come out on agile recently from the DoD. But Spotify, I mean, that was homegrown. Lots of sort of interesting and rapid change happening there. I think there's this misconception about Agile and about all of these processes out there, and that people think, oh, this is Agile or this isn't, or oh, how Agile is this thing. And really, at the end of the day, the Agile Manifesto was written in 2001. It has 12 principles and 4 values. That's it. So to say something is more or less agile isn't a process, but there are lots of tools that make you more or less agile, able to adapt to change, to be able to deliver working software, those principles that we're familiar with. But these processes that fall under it, everything's homegrown. I mean, it's homegrown within your team.
So, and that's the thing. I mean, that's the part that like nobody really gets, I think, is that you've got all these quote unquote agile methodologies out there, and that's great. But at the end of the day, you always have to cherry pick.
Absolutely.
Across the board for what works for your environment, your teams, your business. I mean, they all should be homegrown.
And really, when I talk about Agile, I don't talk about a process or a methodology or a framework or any other word we can slap on this idea of things happening in a managed way, which is really all people are looking for. Really, Agile, all of these things are the idea that you should be equipped with multiple tools, processes, practices, whatever you need. So when you're on your hike up the mountain, whatever you encounter, you have something that can solve the problem. So it's not about slapping a process on a team or an organization. It's about discovering that together. It really goes back to empiricism. We don't know how your team is going to implement this thing for good or for ill, but we can try something, learn from it, and create this body of knowledge. It's very similar to developing code. As you develop a system, the only way you get experience in it, feedback in it, understand it, grow it, is by working in it, trying something, getting that feedback. It's the same with human systems, with organizations, with processes. And that's why every Agile is homegrown. At the company I work at currently, they have their homegrown view of Agile, but anywhere you go on any team has their homegrown idea, because it is us figuring out what works for us, whoever they might be.
So as an evangelist, as your role,
Can you feel the power
Is
of
that?
Agile?
I mean, is that?
And then the Agile Manifesto came from the heavens, and they all said Agile. Wait till I take an offering plate.
First they said design, then they said do. Sorry, I remember that was the next step. Was
Stop talking.
I have totally.
I have concerns.
No, but no, for real though. Like, are you? I know you're preaching the gospel, but internally, are those that don't read the book?
My goal.
You follow what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. My goal is to consult on our Agile transformation, whether that's for teams, whether that's for leadership, whether that's for, I don't know, someone's cat. I would love to help someone's cat, just throwing that out there. But anyway, there are always people who don't believe what you tell them. There are always people who are against this idea. The thing is not to say you're wrong, because everybody in almost every situation is making decisions that make sense to them based on their values and understandings of the world. It's not, for the most part, I mean, I have met you two, so I'm concerned. It's not that people are here to screw you over, but rather there's this idea where what if I add to your body of knowledge? What if I ask a question to show that in a different way? What if we create something together that's better than being apart? And I'm not saying there aren't people out there who are like, no, this is terrible. But why? People are, there was this dev I worked with when I very first started my sort of technology journey, which is a funny story. Anyway, he hated project managers, hated them, hated project management. And I wanted to be a project manager. I was an intern at the time. It was my joy. And he was my mentor. And so I started doing project management tasks for the team. And after about 3 months, he said to me, I really like what you're doing. And I was like, well, what if I had the title project manager? And he said, then I would hate it. And so it's this you have to understand why people, and it was because he was trying to be managed. This was an incredibly smart, incredibly motivated person who was asked to tell exactly what he was going to do every hour forever. And with somebody that creative and intelligent, you gotta let them be creative and intelligent and create something amazing, because that's how Linux was created, right?
Yep.
It was just some people online who said, we're going to do something
There's
cool.
got to be a better way.
There's got to be something cool here. And we get to do that. Whatever organization, startup, your own personal coding on your phone, whatever you're doing, we get to create magic every day. We get to create things that don't exist to exist. And so my goal, all of these processes, all of this Agile project management, which I adore, is to help those incredible people create magic. And that's it. Whether that comes with showing people something a new light, creating a new process, using sticky notes on a board, which, by the way, favorite swag from Agile 2019, a roll of blue painter's tape. If everyone could give out painter's tape at conferences, I'll be there. But anyway, it's this amazing idea that when we come together, something more beautiful than us individually comes out. And that's what technology is.
I mean, this is right on. I mean, she's saying everything that I keep saying every time this topic comes up. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. So, I mean, I guess if you were going to tell somebody that wanted to get started with a transformation to Agile, where would you tell them to go?
Read every consultant's page and buy their package. No, I'm kidding. I do think it's an important caveat, and I say this in my classes, and I'll say this before I say anything else. Much of the research work online is selling you something about Agile. So you have to make sure you're really diving in and taking everything as if you would do any research with a grain of salt. If you're looking for an Agile transformation, the first thing I would ask you is why? Because I'll be honest. Agile, whatever that means for every company, means something different and seeks something else. So I've had people tell me Scrum is so we can have more visibility for our bosses, right? Well, if you're looking for that, maybe Scrum isn't your answer, right? Are you trying to deliver quicker? All right, what are your challenges with delivering quickly? Because if it's a technical change or a skill level problem, Agile's not going to fix it.
Nope.
So if you're looking to improve your organization, the first thing you should do is look at your organization. Look at what's happening. Where are we not communicating? Where are we saying the same words but meaning different things? And how is that impacting our delivery and our experience? Because again, work doesn't have to suck. It can be amazing if we have focus on both our product and our people. That's all that matters. And so for me, it's really about look inward first, right? Treat your organization like you're in a therapy appointment. And maybe you need to bring on a consultant to be your therapist, whatever you need, but really uncover those assumptions. Where are our challenges? Often I hear, oh, we need more of this. What does that speak to?
Yep.
Not even why, because why gets us to because we don't have it. And you hear that even with 5 whys. It is really about what is speaking to that thing. right? There's this old debate phrase we used to use in debate that you're missing the forest for the trees. So don't transform to anything, Agile, DevOps, automated testing, automated pipelines, even just building an IT team because you see one single problem. Learn your organization, understand where you're at, and have a reason. That's what I would say first. And then once you're there, figure out, okay, what solves that problem? If it's a process problem, if it's people aren't empowered, if it's creativity, innovation, automation, Agile speaks to those things, but I can't slap a framework on you. You'll have to discover it together.
Well, and absolutely. I mean, and that's part of the challenge is be prepared for what's entailed in that. I mean, there's a gig that I took a job, and their whole thing was we want to get from, we're a very mainframe oriented company. We want to be more object oriented. We're very waterfall. We want to get to more Agile. And I went through and I took the job. I built a 40-person team. We were doing all kinds of great stuff. And 9 months in, they just went, yeah, this is a lot harder than we thought it was. We're not going to do that.
And that's the thing with Agile transformations. And I absolutely love this quote. It was given to me by an Agile coach who I adore. And I was in one of these trainings once and they said, look, no transformation, no change, organizational change, whatever you do will solve your problem. It will only make them more visible.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to make things bleed to figure out where the pain is. And so often I'm in trainings where I'm teaching teams different methodologies, how to apply Scrum, Kanban, XP, whatever it might be. And they'll say, well, how does this thing solve our specific problem with this situation or this person? And my response is, it doesn't, you do.
Yep.
And so too often we put a process or we slap an idea on when it's really, at the end of the day, the Agile Manifesto is 4 values and 12 principles that says people are smart. Maybe we should talk to each other and deliver good things.
Well, it's funny because it actually just bubbled up 2 days ago. There was one of the blogs that I wrote on our site. One of the ladies that I worked with at one point walked up to me at lunch and sat down and she said, I need to know, Dave, how you don't kill people. And I said, what? She said, I've seen you in meetings. She's like, you get in meetings and really some really dumb shit is happening. And I watch the red go up your neck and get up to about mid cheek. And she's like, and then this weird calm hits your face and everything goes good. And then you just kind of take over the room and run things. She's like, I need to know how you do that. And I was like, Sarah, it's a little game I play in my head called What Made You Dumb? Because I truly believe, to your point, I truly believe nobody wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to be the obstructionist. Nobody wants to be the jerk. Nobody wants to be, the pain in the ass. So it's okay. Show me the flow, think through the flow chart of what led you to be in that spot in this room right now.
Have you ever heard of Hanlon's razor?
Yes.
This is my favorite. For those of our listeners who don't know what it is, I'm quoting from Wikipedia. I just Googled it to make sure I got it right. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. And I think that speaks to your story.
And that's the thing. Are you afraid for your job? Did someone give you bad information? Are you operating under bad assumptions? Are you, and so and once you figure that out and you get to their motivation, okay, cool. Dude, now I get it. All right. Dude, I'm not trying to replace you. I'm not trying to kick you out of your, or hey, here's why you might have, let's talk through those assumptions and figure out where, and that's a big part of it.
When we were on break, I was mentioning I spoke recently at the local Detroit conference, Agile and Beyond, and our talk was called The Art of War, and that's what it was about. It was actually telling a story we've all heard of a business team, or a requester, an IT team, and a leader not being on the same page for a quick delivering project. And our talk was really, people aren't out there to get you in trouble. And a lot of our decisions within organizations.
I mean, okay, let's be clear.
I am out to get you to
sometimes they are. No, sometimes they are.
That's true.
I mean, there are politics in real life.
Absolutely.
But by and large,
and Agile coaches as a large swath tend to believe people are good, so you'll have to take that with a grain of salt. But by and large, people are making decisions they think are right in their context, and they lack your values, your information, whatever you think they should make that decision on. So we actually told a story from 3 different perspectives. We told the story from the product owners, the leaders, and the team members' perspective to show that so often we demonize somebody else, and really everyone was just trying their best to deliver software by a deadline. So if we truly have it, an organization or people who are just trying their best to deliver software on a deadline, Agile might help you because it really is helping those people come together to collaborate, to make decisions. Of course, we ended that talk with free cheesecake, so I think it went over well.
Right. Cheese pie.
Yes. Cheesecake is a pie, not a cake. I don't care what you said at Agile and Beyond and voted for. It's a pie. It has a crust.
But it has cake in the name.
Shakespeare had new words. I could have new words. Actually, that was the very first time I entered into debate. My debate coach, my very first debate coach said to me, is cheesecake a cake or a pie? And I swear to you that one thing has shaped my entire career since then.
Is ravioli a sandwich?
No, it's ravioli.
Or a Pop-Tart.
No, it could be.
Pop-Tarts are ravioli.
No, technically there's dough around meat.
I have to send this to my debate coach. He will laugh so hard.
It's a thing.
No, it's a true story.
All right, so where do we find you and find out more about you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'll also be starting a Twitter real soon. I have one at Mary Bobbitt 93, but I'll be transferring that over to Accidental Agilist.
Nice.
So you'll be seeing a lot more from the Accidental Agilist.
That's a great podcast name, by the way.
Yeah, I'm thinking about starting one. Maybe you can
know
hook
some
me up
people.
with
Well,
that.
we could, as long as you don't give us a 6-page NDA.
If I take the offering, will you still host the podcast? No,
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, and something I really wanted to mention on this podcast. I don't have a good question, so I'm just going to talk about it here. I really am accidental to this technology industry. 5-6 years ago, I didn't know the difference between hardware and software, right? And so for me, what happened was I was a debate coach. I was in a master's program. I was complaining I couldn't get an internship over the summer, and someone asked for my resume. And from there, I got on their team and fell in love with everything, learned everything I possibly could. I went to this certified Scrum Master training and I saw this guy facilitating it and I said, I want to be him when I grow up. And it was this amazing transformation of learning and growing. And so to all those people listening who want to enter the IT field, who are passionate, who just want to see a different side of the world, you don't have to code to be in IT. Mm-hmm. You can learn and grow if you're smart and have critical thinking skills, especially if you complain before a class.
And honestly, that's the best origin because like our TED Talk last year was the accidental entrepreneur.
It's amazing.
It's great things happen by accident.
We always ask people like what they want to do when they grow up. And we always ask people this in different forms over their careers and lives. And here's the thing I've learned more than anything else. I don't care what I do in 5 years. People always ask you that in interviews. They'll be like, what do you want to do in 5 years? And I'm like, look, I don't care what I do in 5 years. I care who I am. Mm-hmm. Am I a better person? Am I trying harder? Am I involved more in the community? Do I have an increased number of cats? These are all things that I care about. But which job I'm doing, I care more that I'm helping people solve their problems and helping their work life not suck.
Cool.
Not so. See, she is us.
I have a lot more hair.
Than him.
Than both of you. That's true. The side of my head is shaved. It might be less.
We wrote our blog series was how not to suck at. So yeah, that was our big thing.
How not to suck at work would be my title.
Yep.
Yeah.
How not to suck at Agile. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
It's good stuff.
Cool.
Mary M, can't thank you enough for being out here. This was phenomenal. We appreciate your insight and your time. But hey, we're going to wrap things up for episode 311 of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Mary for the Agile Evangelist for giving her insights onto Agile 2019 and beyond.
Beyond.
Also like to thank PlanetM.com, NetSuite, and Rippling. Thank you for keeping the lights on. On behalf Bob, Dave, and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you, folks.
Bye.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy. Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would like Buick put their cars next to like the Bentleys? Like, why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.